Hi guys, welcome back to a new Masters of the Universe video. So a couple of weeks ago I did a complete run through of all the different He-Man and He-Man related figures and accessories, and I had a few people ask me to do Skeletor as well. So today we're going to have a look at Skeletor, all the different versions from 2008 to 2019, and different accessories that came with him and other figures that were for him. So let's start off with January 2009. This was the very first Skeletor figure that came out. He came out with a half power sword, so that clips together with He-Man's power sword. He came with a full power sword and this Havok staff. Now, he didn't come with this cape. I actually made that. I use it in photos quite a lot and people always ask me where it came from, so that was handmade by me. Yeah, so that was the first Skeletor. You can see his face. Like, his different releases all had different face paint apps as well, so we'll have a close-up look at them as well. So after the original Skeletor came Keldor. Now Keldor is the 2000X version of Skeletor before he became Skeletor, I guess. He came with this cape that clips over his, you can pull his head off and the cape just comes off. It sits very loosely on there. Now sword-wise, he only came with two half swords. In the 2000X cartoon, he had a new sword that was two halves that were joined together. So this is what Mattel gave us for Kaldor. So it's two half swords, but they do actually clip together to form a full sword. They didn't give us the 2000X sword at that point. It came a bit later, and I'll show you that in a sec. Okay, and his other accessory was this little acid vial that he tried to throw in King Randor's face, but King Randor deflected it and it ended up on his face and melted it off, which is why he ended up with a skeleton head. Next up was July 2010, and this was the Skeletor and Mo-Larr 2-pack that was based on a Robot Chicken sketch, and this was an SDCC exclusive. As you can see, Mo-Larr is a dentist, an attorney and dentist, and he pulls out Skeletor's tooth. So I'm sure if you looked on YouTube, you could find the sketch that this is based on. If you turn around the back, they have these were all part of the sketch from Robot Chicken as well. There's the characters that were straight out of the sketch. But I actually have opened them as well. They came with a whole heap of accessories. We've got Mo-Larr and Skeletor with his missing tooth, as you can see. Focus on that. And then Skeletor came with his Havok staff, a half power sword, a full complete sword, and then Mo-Larr came with a whole heap of dental accessories. So dental floss, this tooth, extracted tooth, and a drill, and I don't know what that is. I guess one of those suction things. So that was 2010 July, SDCC exclusive. So move that out of the way. And then after that, we had a Toys R Us 2-pack in 2010. So this was a Masters of the Universe versus DC Universe. So this was Skeletor versus Lex Luthor. So I didn't keep the Lex Luthor figure. So this was the Skeletor that came in that 2-pack. As you can see, he has just a plain yellow face. It's a little bit hard to capture that under my lights. And he came with a yellow power sword. He has a slightly different paint app on his armor as well to the first to the Skeletors that came out after him. So that is the Toys R Us 2-pack Skeletor. The next Skeletor we got was Battle Armor Skeletor in March 2011. He came with an axe, again the same as He-Man, and then the interchangeable chest plates that indicate the different levels of damage to his armor. Yeah, so that's Skeletor. You can see his face has a Slightly different paint app again to the previous Skeletors. Okay, and then next up in June 2011, we had the Faceless One. So the Faceless One is a 2000X character. He is Evelyn's father, and he came with this Skeletor Havok staff that is half red, translucent red with purple. Now, for the life of me, I can't remember why he came with this. I think he might have had it originally and Evelyn stole it and gave it to Skeletor. But yes, that is the Faceless One from June 2011. So also in 2011, we got this Demo Man character. He came with the head that I use for my Skeletor, and that is the Alcala style head. So a lot of people ask me about this head as well, and it came with this guy here. Yeah, he's just I think he's a prototype figure. He was never used or fleshed out or anything, so yeah, that's Demo Man. And then in June 2012, we got a weapons pack, and it had this Kaldor sword in it. So this is, as I was saying before, based on the 2000X sword. It comes apart, and he has two different swords that he would wield together, and they also join together. Next up was Dragon Blast Skeletor. He came out in September 2012. He came with this sword. He has the dragon on his back, like the vintage one, except this one doesn't shoot water out of its mouth. A chain, the wrist cuff, and the lock. And this was around the time that Mattel started casting in black, casting like the body parts in black and painting them. So you can see on there, on his leg there, there's a bit of a paint where it looks like they've touched it up. He also has paint rub on his legs, black paint rub there. He's missing paint on his knees. So that was a bit of a controversy around that time. I think they did it maybe for about 4 or 5 figures, and then they stopped doing it and went back to casting in the actual, flesh tone that they chose for each character. And then also in September 2012 was the very first PowerCon, and Mattel were giving away a Keldor sword at PowerCon. Now, unlike the one that did come apart, this one actually doesn't come apart. I believe what happened was this was to be included in the weapons pack, but when Mattel realized that these were joined together, they had been glued together in the factory and were not able to be separated, they ended up just giving these away at PowerCon. So that was in September 2012. Then in December 2013, we got Plundor. He was a Filmation character, and he came with this Filmation style axe with the crystal ball at the end that Skeletor was seen with maybe 1 or 2 episodes. So that's another just Skeletor accessory. If you wanted to give that to Skeletor at any point, you can. Okay, following that one was August 2014. We got the New Adventures Skeletor. So he came with this staff, this New Adventures from the 90s style staff, which is really cool. And he has a helmet, a removable helmet. As you can see, he has this really creepy head stuff going on. And a really detailed sculpt as well. You can see he's got these mechanics going into his leg and coming out and all over the place. So that was New Adventures Skeletor. And then in January 2015, we got Lizard Man. He was from the Filmation cartoon, and he came out with this sword, this bone sword that was similar to the one that Skeletor used in the Filmation cartoon. So yeah, again, just another accessory that you could give to Skeletor. And he also came out with the Diamond Ray of Disappearance from the Filmation episode. That little gem there glows in the dark. So that was January 2015. Then October 2015, yeah, same year, we got Terraclaw's Skeletor. Now he was in a 2-pack with Flying Fist He-Man. So yeah, he came with this thing that clips off the back, the dragon chomping thing, and you can put it onto his arm. So he also has that red clip on the back. In the vintage line, that red clip is one of the hardest things to find. Oddly, they didn't give the same red clip to He-Man. I don't know, because he had one in the vintage cartoons, in the vintage line. I'm not sure why they missed it off He-Man, but Skeletor got it, so that's really cool. And then in December 2015, we got Laserlight Skeletor. He was in a 2-pack with Laser Power He-Man. Again, I've done the review with the He-Man figures, so I'll link it below if you want to check that out. And that brings us up to June 2016, when Mattel gave us this Club Grayskull Filmation Skeletor. He came with this Havok staff and this sword as well. It's worth noting, I actually painted the black inside of his hood there because he didn't come with that painted. Yeah, so I actually just pulled the skull out, painted it black and popped it back in there. So that was actually the last Skeletor from Mattel. And then we go over to Super 7. So in July 2017, Super 7 released this Ultimate Classic Skeletor. So he came with the Skeletor body. He has a newly painted feet. I think the previous Skeletors all had like the blue colored feet. He has the Keldor head, the Alcala head. He has an Alcala style power sword. And I think there is a full sword and a half sword and the Havok staff. So there was a lot included in with that one. So that's a pretty good one. If you can pick that up, that's probably your best bet, but I think that they're all sold out now and you'd have to look on the secondary market. And then next up is another Super 7 figure. It was the Ultimate Filmation Skeletor. So this one came out with a Havok staff. He also came out with the bone sword that is different to the one that came with Lizard Man. He came with this laughing head. He also has this axe, which again is different to the one that came with Plundor. He came with a regular head and also a little diamond ray of disappearance that again, it was different to the one that came with Lizard Man. I can show you those so you can see this is Lizard Man's. So you can see they're actually very similar but different. And then the diamond ray of disappearance, both completely different. And I think the axe is also, they look similar but they are actually different as well. Okay, so I think that was the last Skeletor that came out. Now there are 2 more Skeletors coming from Super 7. They have already been up for pre-order and I think the pre-order is already closed, and they are movie Skeletors. So a regular movie Skeletor from 1987 and a God Skeletor from the 1987 movie. But that's about it, guys. I think that brings me to the end of all of my Skeletors. So stick around and I'll post some photos with more details on each figure. Thanks for watching.